And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Thank you very much there, John Bon Jovial, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary John Bon Jovial. Welcome aboard, John.
Why, thank you, David. It is absolutely, completely, and always excellent to be side by side with you.
It's excellent.
As we do another week's worth of quality broadcasting.
In our 8th year now, and it's always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have you with us. We've got a very special show here for you today. We're going to do something a little bit different. We had an Indian artist on here several weeks ago, Aditi, and we got such great response that we thought it would be interesting to see, or listen to at least, more music from India. We love being able to bring you artists from around the world, and gentleman who we worked with out of India with Aditi has some other artists that he promotes, and we decided, well, let's get a couple more of your artists over here and listen to their music, tell their story, and also a chance for you to meet an Indian promoter. Now, Jay, who does the promoting for them, has his own company, obviously. It's called Lazie Indie Magazine. They have an international music magazine, and we'll get into all of that in just a few minutes. But it's going to be very interesting because we've got several facets we can look at here. Artists from India. We've got one artist from the pop side, another from the more native Indian side, and we've also got discussions on making it in music in the nation of India, as opposed to here in the United States or over in Europe. So I think it'll be a fascinating discussion, and we'll be getting into that in just a little bit. We want to welcome our listeners around the world. This includes you, and also our listeners in Rochester, New York, who listen to us by way of WRFZ FM 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. Thank you, people, for being with us every week. We're very glad to have you join us here on the show that is always an award show, because there were so many award shows already. We figured, let's just make every show an award show. And therefore, everybody that appears on our show is not only a member of our family now, but they're also an automatic award winner. So if you've got somebody or something music-related that you think deserves an award, let us know. Drop us a line. Email david@TheDavidBowers.com and tell us who or what you think is deserving of an award and why. And hey, who knows? We might salute you and give you your award right here on the show. John Bon Jovial, what's new in Bon Jovial land this week?
Well, David, it's good to be with you again for another week of, as I said earlier, quality broadcasting. And I'm not being facetious when I say that. I love doing this show with you. I really do. We get to meet such incredibly interesting people. And I'm looking forward to talking to Jay here in a little bit because, it's just so, I don't know, interesting, if you will, for lack of better words, to know what is going on musically in the rest of the world besides here in these United States.
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
It gives us a great perspective. Locally, for those listeners that are with us on a regular basis, you'll know that David is in the Phoenix area, and I am in Southwest Florida in the Naples-Fort Myers area. We have had an unusually cold, by Florida standards anyway, an unusually cold winter. And we've, for example, today, as we record this show, the high temperature is supposed to be 63 degrees, which I know for people up north right now, they'd kill for that. It's so funny to see people walking around in their with their gloves on and the parkas, and they've got their little dogs that they're taking out for a walk, and the dogs have sweaters on, and it's, being from Boston originally, it's just so bizarre to see that.
Well, having lived in all three climates, the cold northern climate, the humid southeastern climate and the dry southwestern. I know exactly what you're talking about there, about the variance. What's freezing for one is balmy for another.
Yeah. So what's going on in the Valley of the Sun today?
Pretty much the same. We haven't had a cold winter, but it has hit the cool point. We've been in the 30s the last few mornings, but it doesn't last long. It gets up into the 50s and 60s, and this weekend it's actually breaking into the 70s, which is really idyllic. It's gorgeous. It's dry, sunny, clear, a hint of a breeze, and it's just cool enough that the warmth of the sun feels great. You can get out in the sun and just enjoy the heck out of it. It's really beautiful. This is really the kind of weather you live for out here.
Oh, absolutely. And it is while we're speaking, it has just occurred to me that for our international listeners, they're thinking to themselves, this guy in Florida just said it's 63 degrees. That's hotter than hell. No, we're talking Fahrenheit here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes,
Fahrenheit,
right.
not Celsius.
Yeah, that would be a hot day in Naples at
Yes,
63 Celsius. Wow.
Yes,
listen,
it would.
we've got such a great show here today. Let's get right to it and get into the music. First thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to an artist by the name of Sherise D'Souza, and she is one of the Lazie Indie Magazine artists that we're featuring today. We're going to play a tune by her, and then we're going to have Jay, and Jay also is in a band called the Lazie J Band, and he and I believe it's his drummer, Manoj, are going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking with them about the artists, what Lazie Indie does, about the magazine, and of course, most importantly, about the music. So here she is right now. This is Sherise D'Souza with Dream Maker.
Setting spirits free in the open of the longing made me wonder where I've been when I felt love so free like the ocean, so wild and open. When there's another fate, but still I make the same mistakes, but I believe I yearn to break this. When there's another fate, but still I make the same mistakes, I yearn to break this. As I walk these streets, I know that you're with me. Hold my hand and make me yours. Take me through these lonely roads. Dream maker. When I felt your heart in mine, and I asked you one last time, are you lonely? Is your mind dancing? Then I heard you speaking rhymes. Would you take a chance this time? My mind is frozen. I long to break this. When there's another fate, but still I make the same mistakes, but I believe I yearn to break this. When there's another fate, but still I make the same mistakes, I yearn to break this. As I walk these streets, I know that you're
Sherise D'Souza and Dream Maker. This from Lazie Indie and Lazie Indie Magazine in India. And let's welcome our guests right now, if you would, please. Come on in here, Jay Pillai and Manoj. Welcome aboard.
Hi, David. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So glad to have you with us here today. Thank you for sharing your time with us, of course, and for also bringing us these amazing indie artists that we actually, it's it's almost a redundant music phrase, an Indian artist. Can get confusing there, but indie artists from the country of India, and we're so glad to be able to share their music and stories. Jay, first off, speaking of stories, tell us about what you're doing, because you're actually doing several different things. You have the Lazie Indie Magazine, which promotes indie artists around the world. You also do artist representation, and I know that you're very selective in the artists that you pick. They've got to be fairly serious, or you're not going to spend a lot of time. You're not the kind of agency that's going to just take some artist and book them to make a couple of bucks on the side. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with indie artists overall.
Thank you, David. It's a great opportunity for us to speak to you. I'm very glad that you invited us here. A couple of months or maybe some time back, I was there in the show as Lazie J. So that was me as a band. And first of all, I'm an indie artist. And from there on, looking at what independent musicians really need, we thought of supporting independent musicians, and that's the reason why we started the magazine called Lazie Indie Magazine, where we pick up artists. In fact, we select the artists whom we would like to promote, and we write about them, we interview them, and, we speak to radios who help independent musicians. I'm honored to have featured you two in the magazine. So, thank you for...
We're honored to have been included. Thank you very much. We're very honored to have been included in the magazine.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. And the other thing is we support artists who are actually serious with what they are doing. So, being an indie artist is no fun. If you look on the promotion side, they are, everywhere you have blogs, everywhere you have big shots coming in and doing the marketing, which can eat up the small players. So, there are some artists in India and abroad or anywhere in the world who would like to be represented or like to be presented to people. We try to help them out, and that's how the concept of, the telling or reaching out to friendly radios like yours for artists started. So,
right.
It's all a logical, next step each time. So,
and that's an interesting concept.
Band,
go ahead.
Yeah. Please. We as a band, we started in 91. So, and